Revelation 908. From the 11th of May 1939. Times of spiritual distress. Help from above. In times of spiritual distress, the care of the Father in heaven has always been directed to the earthly children, and thus the human race has been protected from complete decline up to the present day. The greater the need was, the more visibly God's love and mercy intervened. But the world corrupted the generations again and again, and the battle with darkness was a constant one, for the world's temptations were tremendous, but mankind was weak and without faith in the eternal glory. And so more homage was paid to the world and its illusory goods, but the eternal Godhead and life after death were hardly thought of. The time of suffering on earth could therefore never be ended. But hardship and sorrow had to become more and more tangible, for otherwise such an unbelieving human race, seeking only the joy of the world, could not be converted. It had to find its way back to the eternal Creator in tribulations and oppressions of every kind. It had to learn to recognize the transitoriness of earthly things and had to take upon itself burdens, toil and suffering, for only through such was a return to the Father possible. But now faithlessness has taken on such proportions that people no longer remember the Lord even in the greatest suffering. They try to cope with all kinds of resistance, worries and misery, often in vain, but they do not find the way to the heavenly Creator, because in their faithlessness, they do not want to acknowledge such a Creator at all. And so they do not pay attention to the spiritual gifts from above and are therefore completely defenseless against the great misery that is still assigned to the earth. And in this misery, the Lord now again remembers the distressed mankind. He seeks to give it knowledge of the spiritual life in direct connection, he seeks to awaken the sense for pure spiritual exchange. And now people would only have to cultivate such connection on their part, or to make use of the results, but such success does not increase the earthly goods and is therefore also not desirable, and this now causes the eternal divinity to renewed, sharp intervention, which will visibly appear to all the world. And inevitably only the ones who are His, will be spared from the effects of the divine omnipotence and justice. And this hour is no longer far away when mankind will be shaken up and be in greatest agitation, and this time will have such a terrible effect, that all strength and all help must be requested from God if men are not to end their earthly life in despair and be exposed to complete ruin. For the end of the world does not mean the coming judgment, but for the individual who does not want to recognize, the temporal end will have come, and both the believers and the unbelievers will be taken away from the earth. The former will be led to the height, but the latter will have to exchange the earthly kingdom with the kingdom of darkness without delay. And many miracles will still first happen, but man do not pay attention to these. And there will be a great misery among mankind because the voice of God will not be heard and the call from above will not penetrate the hearts of the faithless but will go unheard. And these things are decided in a short time, and all who want to escape unspeakable misery, may heed these words, because the Lord still remembers them in the last hour. Amen.